What's up, guys? It's Video Game Greek. I'm kind of on a multiplayer kick right now, so I wanted to talk about my favorite multiplayer games for the Sega Dreamcast. Let's get started. First game I'm going to talk about here is Zombie Revenge. This is a beat 'em up, and I talked about this in my other videos, but this is a great game, fun multiplayer game. It's similar to the Die Hard arcade, has almost a Resident Evil feel, but the less minutia in it, and you're just running through the levels, beating up the zombies, shooting them, collecting better weapons, and just beating the boss and progressing. Not a lot of thinking, but it's a fun multiplayer game. It's very rewarding. So check out Zombie Revenge. If you're into sports, we got Showtime NBA on NBC. This is a similar game to NBA Jam by Midway. Very, very ridiculous dunks, over the top of, obviously. Graphics actually are still pretty good if you look at them today. The computer assistance, though, is the only thing that I dislike about this game. It gets a little crazy, and I think there is a way to turn that off. So when you're playing 2-on-2, it's a little better, but still, I'll never forget playing this single player. It gets nuts because the computer will be down by 3 or whatever with 2 seconds left. They'll hit a 3, steal it from me, hit a 3, and game over. They win. It's nuts, and that has happened to me on numerous occasions. But anyway, it's better when you're playing multiplayer. It's one of the best, I guess, NBA Jam clone games that I've ever played. So a lot of fun. Next we have Bomberman Online, and great game. A little overlooked, I'd have to say. Not a lot of people know about this game on the Sega Dreamcast, but they expand on the first Bomberman and the second, I guess, very well, adding new gameplay modes, which kind of let you tailor your style of game that you like to play very easily, where you can speed it up and stuff like that, which is great. But fantastic 4-player game. The one on the Saturn is also great, but this one is a lot of fun. As you guys know, I love butt mashers. This is an Olympic game. I love the fact that you can race against 3 other of your buddies to see who has the fastest fingers when you're smashing the buttons, whether it's swimming, racing, all that stuff. But then it also combines that with quick time events when you're trying to do pole vault and triple jump and that type of stuff too. So a little skill involved, but more heavy on the butt mashing. So if you're into it and that sounds like that's something you might like, this is a great, very, very fun game. Okay, this is the first sports game where I could be on the same team with my 3 friends and actually enjoy it and appreciate it and feel like I'm contributing to the team. The feeling I got when I was playing on the defensive line with my other buddies trying to get the quarterback was just something that I'll never forget, and I still love going back to this game and playing it. All the new games let you do that today, but back when you were able to do that on the Dreamcast for the first time, I couldn't believe it. And this is just a great game. The NFL 2K series is so much better than Madden. It's so disappointing that Madden bought the rights to the NFL license or whatever. But anyway, I love this game. Check it out if you're into football games and you want a more pure game than the Maddens. And I'm sorry if that offends any of you guys, but I just check it out if you've never played it. Vigilante 8, Twisted Metal clone for the most part, but I think they actually get this right, and they definitely it's definitely just as good, maybe a little better. Some people would argue. Love playing this. It's a 4-player game, so you can play this with 3 of your other buddies. Had a lot of good times playing this. I love the Twisted Metal series as well, so I'm not gonna knock that at all. But Vigilante 8 is a great game. First-person shooter, Quake 3. This was, I think in my other video I said that this was my first first-person shooter that I ever played online. It's not my favorite, but definitely a lot of fun. The weapons and just, I'll never forget that the feeling I got when I was running around the levels and trying to look for my friends. It's similar to Bond, but because the level designs were a little more detailed and crazy, and you couldn't memorize them as easily, it was a fun feeling to get, and the weapons were just nuts. A lot better than Bond, and so had a lot of good times playing this game, Quake 3. And people actually still play that game a lot on the Dreamcast today, and tournaments and stuff. So If you're into first-person shooters like I am, you would definitely appreciate that game. It supports the keyboard and mouse and the broadband adapter, and that's why people are able to play that online. Choo Choo Rocket, Overlooked Puzzler. I like this better than the Bomberman puzzle game, but it's just really quirky, trying to get your mice in the hole without having the actual cat get into the hole, and you lose points that way. But you actually use the buttons for the directional buttons on the right of the controller to direct your mice into the hole, and then you have your 3 other buddies trying to like steer them away at the same time and get them into their holes. So it's just very chaotic, very fast. It takes a little bit to get to understand how to play, but then once you master it, you can play this for the entire night with your friends if they're into the game as much as you are. So love Choo Choo Rocket. It's funny, the Dreamcast has a lot of clones here, because this is a Mario Party clone, but I would have to say that the mini games in this are very fun, and are a lot of them are better than the Mario Party games, and I think that's because Sega's so good at making little quirky quick time event games, and they do a great job with the Sonic Shuffle. I can't talk about this game enough. Sports Jam blows my mind to this day. The way that they add these quick time events in sports, which they have a lot of sports in this. It looks like 10 or more, or 12 sports they have in this, and they put their own twist on a quick time event in the sports, and then you're competing against your buddy to try to get either the most points or the most goals or whatever, or the closest to the pin, stuff like that. And the way they do this is just unbelievable. And when this first came out, I didn't hear about this, and it was only later, and I'm so disappointed that I missed this when this first came out. And I think it's because it was towards the end of the Dreamcast, but geez, it still holds up fantastically. So if you're into sport games, then check it out. If you're not, then it might not be for you. Okay, this is the best multiplayer fighter I've ever played with 4 players. They expand on Power Stone 1 great, and I love how the levels actually progress, and you move through the stages in one level though, and how you can actually, they have turrets on the stages that you can use against your enemies, and how the element that you have to pick up the stones and you get superpowers for like a limited amount of time, and the weapons that are dropping are crazy too. It's great, and the single player is fun to play through this, but not as much as the 4 player. So Power Stone is a great game. It's one of those gems that you have to have if you own the Dreamcast. Anyway, or you have to own it if you're into fighters at all. It's great, very unique. Alright, Unreal Tournament is my favorite shooter on the Dreamcast, first-person shooter that is, and the weapons in this are fun. I love how I can still play this with bots and enjoy it, and this one also has the mouse and keyboard. Like I said, the weapons are great, they seem very accurate, sniping's good in this. I still use the controller even though it does support the mouse and keyboard, but I did play this online, a little laggy when I did back in the day, but it was still, to play a first-person shooter that was this good online was great. We had good times playing this. So anyway, I know I talk about UFC Championship a lot in my videos, but that's just because this is an overlooked fighting series game. Please check it out. I'm not going to go into that much detail, but please check it out. It's a great game. Okay, playing tennis, this great game when you have 4 people with you, so it's 2-on-2 doubles, right, is just great. You know, everyone has their own strategies, one guy up, one guy back, or 2 guys on the baseline, all that stuff. It's just a lot of fun, and we've played hours of this, and what else can I say about this? But even single player, it's just one of those games that just last forever in my memories, but it's still fun to play. I still fire this up every now and then. Alright, probably my favorite game on the Dreamcast, like I said before, Dynamite Cop, which is the sequel to Die Hard Arcade, or the spiritual sequel. It's similar to Zombie Revenge, right? Like I said, it's a beat 'em up where you can pick up crazy weapons, you progress through the levels, just nuts. It's over the top, and that's what Sega does best, right? And just so going through these levels with a friend is a lot of fun. It's pretty quick. You can beat it in probably an hour. I love this game. So Dynamite Cop is a great multiplayer game. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions or if I missed any, please let me know. And I hope you enjoyed. Take care.